माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय जय गोपी जनवल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशो यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जनवल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुनातीरावनचारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा श्याम सुंदर श्री राधे जय कृष्ण बलराम कृष्ण बलराम जय कृष्ण बलराम जय गौरनिताय गौरनिताय जय गौरनिताय जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमा श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमः ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामीति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरत्वसे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So we'll be reciting from 10th canto. This is chapter 45 verse 1. śrī-śuka uvāca pitarāv upalabdhārthau viditvā puruṣottamaḥ mā bhūditi nijām māyām tatāna jana-mohinīm। śrī-śuka uvāca pitarāv upalabdhārthau viditvā puruṣottamaḥ mā bhūditi nijām māyām tatāna jana-mohinīm। śrī-śuka uvāca pitarāv upalabdhārthau viditvā puruṣottamaḥ mā bhūditi nijām māyām tatāna jana-mohinīm। śrī-śuka uvāca pitarāv upalabdhārthau viditvā puruṣottamaḥ bhūd nijām māyā tatāna jana-mohinīm. viditvā puruṣottamaḥ bhūd nijām māyām tatāna jana-mohinīm. Mataji's, anyone? śrī-śuka uvāca pitarāv upalabdhārthau viditvā bhūd nijām māyām tatāna jana-mohinīm. śrī-śuka uvāca. Śukadeva Gosvāmī said, pitarau, his parents, upalabdha, having realized, arthau, the idea of his opulent position as God, viditvā, knowing, puruṣa-uttamaḥ, the Supreme Personality, bhūt, this should not be, nijām, his personal, māyām, illusory potency, tatāna, he expanded, jana, his devotees, mohinīm, bewilders. Which bewilders? Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Śukadeva Gosvāmī said, understanding that his parents were becoming aware of his transcendental opulences, the Supreme Personality of Godhead thought that this should not be allowed to happen. Thus, he expanded his Yoga-māyā, which bewilders his devotees. Purport. If Vasudeva and Devaki would have seen Krishna as Almighty God, their intense love for him as their son would have been spoiled. Lord Krishna did not want this. Rather, the Lord wanted to enjoy with them the ecstatic love of Vatsalya Rasa. The relationship between parents and children. As Srila Prabhupada often pointed out, although we normally think of God as the Supreme Father, in Krishna consciousness we can enter into the Lord pastime and play the part of his parents, thus intensifying our love for him. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur points out that the word jana may be translated here as devotees, as in the verse, Diyamanam na grihnanti vinamat sevanam janaha. He further explains that jana may also be translated as parents, since jana is derived from the verb jan, which is the causative form. Janayate means to generate or to give birth to. In this sense of the word, as in janani or janakau, the term jana-mohinīm indicates that the Lord was about to expand his internal illusory potency so that Vasudeva and Devaki would again love him as their dear child. So we will also read the summary of the chapter since we are beginning this chapter. This is chapter 45, Krishna rescues his teacher's son. This chapter describes how Lord Krishna consoled Devaki, Vasudeva and Nanda Maharaj and installed Ugrasen as king. It also relates how Krishna and Balaram completed their education, retrieved the dead son of their guru and then returned home. Nothing that his parents, Vasudeva and Devaki, had realized his true position as God. Noting that his parents, Vasudeva and Devaki, had realized his true position as God, Sri Krishna expanded his Yoga-māyā to again make them think of him as their dear child. Then, with Lord Balaram, Krishna approached them and said how happy he was that he and they had been unable to enjoy the mutual satisfaction of parents and children who lived together. Then he stated, even in a lifetime of 100 years, no son can ever repay the debt he owes his parents, from whom he receives his very body. Any capable son who fails to support his parents will be forced in the hereafter to eat his own flesh. Indeed, any person who does not maintain and nourish those under his care, children, wife, spiritual masters, brahmanas, elderly parents, and so on, is simply a living corpse. It was out of fear of Kansa that we could not serve you. So now please forgive us. Vasudeva and Devaki, overcome with emotion upon hearing these words of Sri Krishna's, embraced their two sons and in ecstasy shed a torrent of tears. Having thus satisfied his mother and father, Lord Krishna offered Kansa's kingdom to his maternal grandfather Ugrasen, and then arranged for all his family members who had fled in fear of Kansa to return to their homes. Protected by the mighty arms of Krishna and Balaram, the Yadavas began to enjoy supreme bliss. Krishna and Balaram next approached Nanda Maharaj and praised him for having cared so lovingly for them, another sons. Krishna then said to Nanda, dear father, please return to Vraja. Knowing how much you and our other relatives are suffering in separation from us, Balaram and I will come to see you as soon as we have satisfied your friends here in Mathura. Krishna then worshipped Nanda with various offerings, and Nanda felt overwhelmed with love for his sons. After tearfully embracing Krishna and Balaram, he took the cowherd men and departed for Vraja. Next, Vasudeva had his priests perform his son's ritual of second birth, Brahminical initiation. Krishna and Balaram then went to Gargmuni to take vow of brahmacharya, celibacy. Afterward, Krishna and Balaram, though omniscient, desired to reside at the school of a spiritual master, and thus they went to live with Sandipani Muni at Avantipura. To teach the proper way to respect one's guru, Krishna and Balaram served their spiritual master with great devotion, as they would a deity of Supreme Lord himself. Sandipani Muni, pleased by their service, imparted to them detailed knowledge of all the Vedas, together with their 6 corollaries and the Upanishads. Krishna and Balaram needed to hear each subject explained only once to assimilate it completely, and thus in 64 days they learnt the 64 traditional arts. Before taking leave of their guru, the 2 lords offered Sandipani Muni any gift he desired. The wise Sandipani, seeing their amazing prowess, requested that they bring back his sons who had died in the ocean at Prabhash. Krishna and Balaram mounted a chariot and went to Prabhash, where they approached the shore and worshipped the presiding deity of the ocean. Krishna asked the ocean to return his spiritual master's son, and the lord of the ocean replied that a demon dwelling within the ocean named Panchajana had taken the boy away. Hearing this, Sri Krishna entered the ocean, killed that demon, and took the shell that had grown from his body. But when Krishna did not find his guru's son within the demon's belly, he went to the planet of Yamaraj, the lord of death. Yamaraj came forward when he heard Krishna blow the Panchajanya conch shell and devotedly worshipped him. Lord Krishna then asked Yamaraj for Sandipani Muni's son, and Yamaraj immediately gave him to the 2 lords. Krishna and Balaram then returned to their spiritual master and presented him with his sons, requesting him to choose yet another favor. But Sandipani Muni replied that by having obtained disciples such as them, as all his desires were fulfilled. He thus instructed them to return home. Krishna and Balaram travelled to their home by chariot, and upon their arrival all the citizens became unlimitedly ecstatic to see them, just like persons who have regained a lost treasure. Hare Krishna. So, today we are hearing from Srimad Bhagavatam. This is chapter 45 and this is text 1. The text 1 here, it comes after the killing of Kansa. In the previous chapter, Krishna has killed Kansa, and after satisfying the queens of Kansa by consoling them, and after doing all the necessary arrangements for Kansa's ritualistic ceremony, Krishna returns to his mother and father Devaki and Vasudeva. But the previous chapter also describes that when Krishna returned to Devaki and Vasudeva, Devaki and Vasudeva were standing in great awe and reverence, offering obeisances to Krishna in one way through their minds. They were wonderstruck that how this small child has killed the great demon Kansa, and therefore, with great awe and reverence, they were neither approaching Krishna and neither offering prayers. So, here in this verse, it is being explained that pitarāv upalabdhārthau viditvā puruṣottamaḥ. Pitarau, the two parents, the parents of Krishna and Balaram, Vasudeva and Devaki, upalabdhārthau, they came to know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And because this Aishwarya Gyan, they got to know about Krishna's position, bhūt iti nijām māyā tatāna jana-mohinīm. And Krishna is thinking at that point of time that now my parents, they are thinking that I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They have come to know the tattva. And therefore, they are standing apart. They are not embracing Krishna and Balaram. And they are standing apart. And what Krishna thinks that this shouldn't happen. Because Krishna wants to enjoy, or Krishna wants to relish the parental affection of Vasudeva and Devaki. Therefore, the verse says that bhūt iti nijām māyām. Bhūt iti. It shouldn't happen. And Krishna, nijām māyā, his own spiritual potency, his Yoga-māyā, tatāna. Tatāna means to expand. He expanded his own Yoga-māyā, which is jana-mohinīm. Jana-mohinīm. Jan is the word which means bhakta jan. So he expanded his own Yoga-māyā to cover up the knowledge that Vasudeva and Devaki had got that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that Krishna would be able to relish the transcendental parental affection which Mother Devaki and Vasudeva have for Krishna. And therefore Krishna expanded his Yoga-māyā. So this is the entire verse. So Devaki and Vasudeva, they have intense love towards Krishna. In Srimad Bhagavatam, when Krishna is born in the Karagrih, in the jail of Kansa, Mother Devaki and Vasudeva, Mother Devaki especially, mother's love can only be understood by mothers. So Mother Devaki, she saw the child, and immediately Devaki and Vasudeva, they became fearful that Kansa would come and kill Krishna. Krishna understood their fear, and Krishna told that, "O mother, O father, if you are so fearful of Kansa, please take me to Gokul." And at that moment, Vasudeva took the basket, put Krishna in the basket, and he starts taking Krishna to Gokul. It is explained that when Devaki, now you can imagine a newborn child, Krishna is a newborn child, and Mother Devaki, she has so much affection for Krishna, she fed Krishna once before he went to Gokul. So out of her intense love, Mother Devaki was not able to bear the separation from Krishna. Therefore, our Acharyas explained that Yoga-māyā potency of the Lord covered Mother Devaki, and she slept off so that Krishna would be able to go to Gokul. If Vasudeva would have taken Krishna to Gokul in front of Devaki, Devaki, out of intense separation from Krishna, would have given up her life. And therefore, our acharyas explained that Mother Devaki was covered by the Yoga-māyā potency. She slept off till the time Vasudeva returned, because if Vasudeva wasn't there, Mother Devaki would have cried pitifully. She would have left her life without the presence of Vasudeva, who would have in other case consoled her if he was there. Therefore, there is intense parental affection in the heart of Mother Devaki for Krishna. Devaki has intense love for Krishna. But Devaki's love for Krishna, it is tinged with awe and reverence, with the knowledge of the opulence of Krishna. You can imagine that Devaki, she saw Krishna once, the day he was born. And for 11 long years, Devaki nurtured, harbored the desire to see Krishna again. Both Vasudeva and Devaki. You can imagine the parental affection, the love which would have been nurtured in their heart for 11 long years till the time Krishna was there in Vrindavan. And now Krishna is returning from Vrindavan to Mathura. Krishna is directly present in front of them. It was very natural for Devaki and Vasudeva to embrace Krishna, but still they do not embrace Krishna. Why? Because their love has a tinge of Aishwarya Bhav. They still did not embrace Krishna. So why that Aishwarya is there? That Aishwarya was always there. But the parental affection was reaching its zenith when Krishna was born. Because Krishna was not showing any opulence at that point of time. But here in this case, Krishna has killed Kansa at this moment. Kansa was such a demon. The demigods would fear. It is said that Krishna killed Kansa and he dragged the body of Kansa to take him to Yamuna. When he dragged it, a big river bank got created by the body of Krishna. Now you can imagine what is the strength of Kansa. So Mother Devaki and Vasudeva, when they saw Krishna's strength, they got so much affected by the opulence of Krishna that they forgot that Krishna and Balaram, they are our own sons. They forgot to embrace Krishna and Balaram, and they are standing just seeing Krishna and Balaram without embracing. And this is the nature of the love of Devaki and Vasudeva. As soon as the Mathura Vasis, when they see the opulences of Krishna being manifest, their love, their natural love diminishes. This is the nature of their love. But on the other hand, there is love of Vrindavan Vasis. There is love of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. There is no sankoch. The love in Mathura is filled with sankoch. It is filled with contriction. It actually, whenever there is Aishwarya, the love diminishes. But in Vrindavan, no matter how much Krishna shows Aishwarya, the love of Vrindavan Vasis, the love of Yashoda and Devaki, it never diminishes. It never diminishes. And therefore, this is the difference between love of Yashoda and Devaki. Mother Yashoda's love, there is no tinge of Aishwarya in Mother Yashoda's love. And this can be seen in Vrindavan pastimes. One time Sri Krishna, going to take rest in the night, Mother Yashoda comes. She takes Krishna on the bed. She puts Krishna in her lap. The soldiers of Krishna resting on, the head of Krishna resting on the shoulders of Mother Yashoda. Mother Yashoda is caressing the hairs of Sri Krishna. And she is telling Krishna, go to sleep. Mother is telling Krishna, go to sleep. Krishna says, Mother, I am not getting sleep. Please tell me a story. You know, in India it is very natural that the kids, they would say that before going to sleep, tell me a story. I'm not getting sleep. So you have to tell me the story. माँ कह एक कहानी, बेटा समझ लिया क्या तूने मुझको अपनी नानी, कहती है मुझसे ये चेटी तू मेरी नानी की बेटी, माँ कह तू लेटी ही लेटी राजा था या रानी. So Krishna is asking, Mother, please tell me a story, whether there was a king, there was a queen. Mother tells, okay, I will tell you a story, but Krishna, now you have to respond in between the story, because it is dark and I will not come to know whether you are still awake. So you have to respond. It is quite natural. When you are telling a story, the other person should respond. So Krishna said, okay, Mother, it's a deal. I will respond. You have to tell me a story and I will respond. So Mother Yashoda starts telling a story. Ramo naam babhuvahum tadabala siteti hum tam pitur vācah panchavati tata viharatas tasyaharad ravanah nidrartham janani kathamiti harer hunkaratah shrinvatah Saumitre kva dhanur dhanur dhanuriti tasyaharad ravanah. So, in Krishna Karnamrit, in one of the versions of Krishna Karnamrit, Srila Bilwa Mangal Thakur writes that Mother Yashoda starts telling the story. She says, Ramo Nama Babhuva. Oh Krishna, I will tell you a story. There was a king named Ram. Krishna says, Hum. So the poet writes, Ramo Nama Babhuva. And Krishna responds, Hum. Yes, Mother, I am listening. Please tell me more. Tadabala Siteti. And she had a wife. Her name was Sita. Krishna responds, Hum. Siteti hum tam pitur. And his father, Vācah panchavati tate viharatas. His father promised his another wife that I will give you 2 benedictions. Kaikeyi asked for that 2 benediction, that Ram should go for exile for 14 years and Bharat should be put on throne of Ayodhya. Krishna got so much absorbed in the story. He was listening to Mother Yashoda with great absorption. And there Mother Yashoda is saying on the words of his father, Ram, the king, the Kunwar of Ayodhya, he left Ayodhya to go to the forest of Dandakaranya and he was residing there. Krishna says, Yes, Mother, yes. Then he says, Tasya harad Ravana. When Ram was residing in that forest, a demon named Ravana came and he abducted the wife of Ram, Sita. Now at this point of time, Krishna was completely absorbed in the story. And Mother Yashoda, why was she telling the story? Nidrartham janani. Mother Yashoda was telling this story because she wanted Krishna to go to sleep. Nidrartham janani katham iti harer. But what happened? Hunkaratah. Krishna did a hunkar. He got up from his bed. He jumped off from his bed and he started roaring, Saumitre kva dhanur dhanur dhanuriti tasya harad ravana. Saumitre kva dhanur dhanur dhanuriti. Balaram was sleeping next to him. And Krishna looked at Balaram and he is telling, Saumitre, Lakshman, get up, where is my bow, where is my arrow, bring my bow and arrow, where is my quiver, I am going to kill this demon today. Mother Yashoda is looking at Krishna. Balaramji, who was actually asleep, he thought, what is this thunderbolt on my head? And he got up. Mother Yashoda, she is looking at Krishna, what has happened to my son? Krishna is still absorbed in the story. Mother Yashoda starts taking Krishna, please tell me what has happened to you, Krishna, still in the story. He says, Mother, Ma, I am the same Ram. Sita is my wife and Balaram, he is Lakshman. Mother Yashoda, She puts the ear of Krishna and she says, all the avatars are happening in my house only. Enough of this mischief, Krishna, now you should go to sleep. Krishna looks here and there, he goes to sleep. So Krishna shows his opulences, I am the same Ram. Krishna shows his opulences in Vrindavan. But Vrindavan Vasis, they are not affected by that opulence. So much opulence is seen in Vrindavan. Krishna one time ate dirt. And Mother Yashoda caught hand of Krishna. She started chastising Krishna. Kasman mridamadantatman bhavan bhakshitvan raha vadanti tavaka hiyete. Krishna, why did you eat dirt? And if you say that you haven't eaten dirt, vadanti tavaka, your friends are telling, Balaram is telling you have eaten dirt. Now Krishna did not know what to do. He says, Naham bhakshitvan amba sarve mithya vishanshina. Amba, oh mother, I did not eat dirt. Aham na bhakshitvan sarve mithya vishanshina. All of these people are there telling lies. Now Krishna, who is Satya Swarupa, he is Param Satya. Satya Vratam, Satya Param Tri Satyam, Satyasya Yoni Nihitam Cha Satye. Satyasya Satyam Rita Satya Netram Satyatmakam Tvam Sharanam Prapadye. He is Satya Swarup. One Acharya says that how can Krishna lie in front of Yashoda? He is Satya Swarup. He is saying, I did not eat dirt, sarve mithya vishanshina. All of these people are telling lies. The Acharya puts the word sarve ahead. He says, Aham na bhakshitvan, sarve bhakshitvan. All of these people have taken dirt. And therefore, to prove his statement right, Krishna showed the whole universe in his mouth to Mother Yashoda, showing that if you think the dirt went into my mouth, then you should also understand that all the universe ate dirt, you also ate dirt. So, Krishna showed the entire universe in his mouth. Mother Yashoda got bewildered for just a fraction of a moment. For just a fraction of a moment, Mother Yashoda was covered over by the opulence of Krishna. She started thinking that maybe Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But at that moment, what did Krishna do? He again brought his putra sneh-mayi Maya and covered Mother Yashoda. Because Krishna started thinking that if Mother Yashoda starts doing arati, who will feed me butter? Who will give me milk? And therefore, Krishna himself covered Mother Yashoda. There Śukadeva Gosvāmī points out, he comments that there are many people who are worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Trayāca Upanishadbhisya Sankhyogaisya Satvate Upagīyamāna Mahatmyam Hari Samanyatam Atmajam. That there are people who are worshipping the Supreme Lord Traya by the three Vedas. They are worshipping him as Yajna Purusha. Cha Upanishad Bhishya, by the Upanishad, there are people who are worshipping Krishna in the Upanishads by meditating on the Brahma Rupa of Sri Krishna. And Sankhya Yoga is Satvate, by Sankhya Yoga, they are worshipping by discriminating between Prakriti and a Purusha, they are worshipping the Purusha. Satvata and even devotees of Vaikuntha, they are worshipping the Supreme Lord as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But that same Supreme Personality of Godhead was worshipped by Mother Yashoda as what? As only the Son. Hari Sa Amanyatam Atmajam. Mother Yashoda considered Krishna only the Son. When Parikshit Maharaj was hearing the story, he got so much astonished that he asked a question to Śukadeva Gosvāmī. He asks that, oh dear Śukadeva Gosvāmī, please tell me what pious activities did Nanda and Yashoda performed that they got Krishna as their son. Mother Yashoda gets to feed Krishna her own breast milk. Tell me what pious activities did they perform? One Acharya points out at that point that where is Parikshit Maharaj asking this question? Parikshit Maharaj is asking the question that what is the great fortune of Nanda and Yashoda that they got Krishna as their son? Parikshit Maharaj did not ask the question when Mother Yashoda got to see the universal form, that what was the great fortune that Mother Yashoda got to see the universal form. That was not the question. The question was asked when Mother Yashoda was covered by Yoga-māyā, potency. This means that, the Acharya points out that this means that the knowledge of the opulence of the Supreme Lord, that is not the most exalted position. The most exalted position of a devotee is when he forgets Krishna. Right now we are trying to remember Krishna. This is said that always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. The goal is that we start remembering Krishna. Right now we are in forgetfulness of Krishna, and we have to remember Krishna. And once we start remembering Krishna, the actual goal is to again forget Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and just remember Him in one of the rasas which is present in Vrindavan. So there the question is asked. Śukadeva Gosvāmī replies that Brahmaji, Nanda and Yashoda, they followed the orders of Brahma. And Brahmaji told them that, oh, Drona and Dhara, Nanda and Yashoda, in their previous life they were Drona and Dhara. So Brahmaji told Drona and Dhara that go to this Gokul and serve the cows. And you can ask me any benediction you want to ask. There Drona and Dhara asked for a benediction. Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 8th chapter. Drona and Dhara, what is the benediction that Drona and Dhara ask? It is mentioned, they say, Jatayorna Mahadeve, Bhuvi Vishweshwaro Haro, Bhakti Syat Paramaloke, Yayanjo Durgatim Taret. Drona and Dhara, they ask for benediction that, oh Brahmaji, please give us the benediction that we should have Parama Bhakti. We should have intense love, Param Bhakti for Shri Krishna. Who is that Krishna? Jatayorna Mahadeve, in Mahadeve. In Mahadev. Mahadev here does not mean Lord Shiva. In Bhuvi Vishweshwara, in Vishwa Ishwara, one who is a controller of the entire universe, we should have bhakti for him. And Harau, in Hari. There other acharyas point out that what is the meaning of Mahadev? Deva means Dedipyaman. One who is effulgent is called Dev. But another meaning of Deva is Param Kridayaman, one who is completely playful. So they are asking for a benediction that we should have Parama Bhakti for that playful Lord. This is Mahadeve. Then Bhuvi Vishweshwara, Vishwa Ishwara means that Lord who controls the entire Vrindavan by his flute song. Therefore Vishweshwara. And Harau, Hari Shabda Anekarth Dui Mukhyatam Sarva Amangala Hare Prem Diya Hare Man, that Lord who attracts the mind of Vrindavan Vasis. We should have love for that Lord. And Yayanjo Durgatim Taret, we should have that love by which we get over Durgati. Durgati means misery. One devotee points out there that Durgati means misery. In the beginning phases of devotional service, Durgati is gone. The first two symptoms of sadhana bhakti is Kleshagni and Shubhada. Why are they asking, why Drona and Dhara, they are asking that we should get over Durgati by having this bhakti? No, Durgati here means something else. Durgati here means Aishwarya Bhav. One Acharya points out that they are saying that we should have such bhakti where there should be no tinge of Aishwarya. So Drona and Dhara, they actually asked that we should not have any tinge of Aishwarya in our bhakti. And that's why they got such bhakti. Srila Jiva Goswami in his Gopal Champu points out that Drona and Dhara, they did not perform any austerities. As Yashoda and Nanda also, they performed Dwadashi Vrata only for 1 year. Whereas Vasudeva and Devaki, they performed Tapasya. And because Tapasya was mixed with the knowledge of the opulence of the Supreme Lord, therefore when Krishna became their son, there is the knowledge of opulence in Devaki and Vasudeva. Whereas in Vasudeva, in Nanda and Yashoda, there is no knowledge of opulence. And that's why here we see that Devaki and Vasudeva, they are covered over by the opulence of Krishna. Whereas Nanda and Yashoda, they never get covered by any kind of opulence Krishna shows in Vrindavan. Now if somebody says that, is there no opulence in Vrindavan? We see generally the description of Vrindavan is, there is a lot of Raj, Krishna is moving around in the dust of Vrindavan, in the punk of Vrindavan. But no, the opulences of Vrindavan is even higher than Vaikuntha. Chinta mani prakara sadma sukalpa vriksha lakshavriteshu surabhir abhipalayanta. But the nature of the opulences here is that the opulences of Krishna never cover over his sweetness in Vrindavan. The madhurya of Krishna always takes precedence over the opulence of Krishna in Vrindavan. This is the nature of Vrindavan. When Uddhav visits Vrindavan, he came to console Yashoda and Nanda. Uddhav puts up various different words. He starts saying that, oh Nanda and Yashoda, do not worry. Krishna is Paramatma. He is there in your heart. You can remember him as Paramatma. When Uddhav is preaching this message, Nanda and Yashoda, they are completely silent. They are not responding to any of that. And therefore Uddhav understood that these Vrindavan Vasis, they are not interested in Brahma and Paramatma form of Krishna. They are only interested in the Tribhanga Lalit form of Krishna. Hari darshan ki pyasi akhiyan, Hari darshan ki pyasi. Their eyes long to see only the Shyam Sundar form of Krishna. Dekhyo chahat kamal nayan ko, nisidin rahat udasi. The Nanda and Yashoda's love is so intense, it is so deep, that no matter how much opulence is Uddhav mentioned in front of Nanda and Yashoda, their love for Krishna was never covered. And therefore Uddhav comments there that yuvam shlaghyatama nunam, that oh Yashoda and Devaki, you are the most fortunate in this entire world. You have developed such intense love for Krishna. I have never seen such love in Mathura and Dwaraka. Therefore he says yuvam shlaghyatama nunam dehinam ihamanada Narayana akhila gurau yatkrita matiridrashi. Such intense love that you have developed for Krishna, this is not to be seen anywhere in the entire creation. Therefore you are the most fortunate. Uddhav had to agree that the love of Mother Yashoda and Devaki is the most exalted. It is not present in Mathura anywhere. Therefore in Vrindavan, if we see, the opulences of Krishna, they always get covered by madhurya, by the sweetness of Krishna. There are several pastimes like this. Therefore, in fact, in one way, if we see, Krishna sometimes shows his opulence in Vrindavan, that opulence itself becomes subject to ridicule in Vrindavan. Vrindavan Vasis are so much in love for Krishna. If Krishna starts showing opulences, they start ridiculing Krishna for these opulences. When Uddhav visits Vrindavan and he goes towards the gopis in Man, they are remembering the opulences of Krishna. And they are saying, Mrigu yuriva kapendram vivyadhe lubdha dharma striyam akrita virupam strijitah kamayanam balimapi balimatva dveshtaya dhvangshavadyaha tadalamasita sakher dostyajastat kathartha. The gopis say that enough of having friendship with Krishna, enough of having friendship with that black boy. Tad alama asita sakher. That black boy, they are saying among themselves that Krishna is very cruel-hearted, and this nature of cruelty Krishna has got from his previous life. Why? They are saying, have you not heard from Purnamasi, O Sakhi? Have you not heard that Krishna in previous life, he was Ram? And in his Ram incarnation, he hid himself in the bushes and he killed Bali, Mriguriva Kapindram, like a hunter who is very cruel-hearted. He hides himself in the bushes and he kills a tiger. Similarly, Krishna, who was so cruel-hearted that he killed Bali. Have you not heard that pastime? The other gopi says, yes, I have heard. Yes, Krishna is very, very cruel. Then he says that, have you not heard that in Rama Leela, Krishna, one lady, one innocent lady came with a proposal towards Krishna that Krishna, please marry me. Surpanakha came with that proposal. Have you not heard? What did Krishna do? Krishna disfigured her nose, ears. Krishna is so cruel-hearted, can you imagine? And have you not heard? In his previous life, Krishna took away all the wealth of Bali Maharaj. He bound Bali Maharaj with the ropes and he chastised Bali, taking all his opulences by cheating. Can anyone be that much cruel? Can you understand the cruelty of Krishna? So just imagine those pastimes which are heard in great awe and reverence by the great devotees of the Lord in this world. The Vrindavan Vasis, they use that same pastime to ridicule Krishna. And this is the opulences, this is the madhurya of this Vrindavan. There are several pastimes like that. Therefore, we have to understand that this mood of Vrindavan is that madhurya always takes precedence over Aishwarya. The Vrindavan Vasis, they are never covered by Aishwarya. Therefore, our acharyas, they pray that we are not interested in any Aishwarya. In Padyavali, Srila Rupa Gosvāmī mentions one verse which is written by Shripad Ishwar Puri, where Shripad Ishwar Puri says, Yoga shrotyupapatti nirjanavana dhyanadva sambhavita swarajyam pratipadya nirbhayamami mukta bhavantu tvija asmakam tu kadamba kunja kuhare pronmila indivara shreni shyamal dham nam jushatam janmastu lakshavadhi. Srila Ishwar Puripad in Padyavali, he is saying, Yoga shrutyupapatti nirjanavana. There are people who are so much interested in opulences of Krishna, they are constantly meditating on Lord Vishnu, yoga, by the process of yoga chitta vritti nirodha. They control their mind and they completely fix up their mind in the four-handed form of Vishnu. Shiro danvat pradeshe shuchimani vilasat saikatair moktikanam mala kripta sanasthas phatikamani nibhair moktikair manditangaha shubhrair abhrair adabhrair aparivirachitair mukta piyusham harshair anandinah puniyat darinalina shankhapanir mukundaha. They constantly meditate on that Vishnu form who is lying in milk ocean. Let them keep meditating upon that. He says, let them keep meditating by the process of yoga. Shrutyupapatti nirjanavana. There are people who go to the nirjanavana. There are people who take shelter of the Shrutis and they become mukta bhavantu dvija. Let them attain moksha if they want to attain moksha. We are not interested in all of that opulences of Krishna. Asmakam tu kadamba kunja kuhare. What are we interested in? We are interested in that blue lotus-like personality who is sitting in Kadamba Kunja, in the forest of Vrindavan, in the groves of Govardhan. And we are interested only in his name. Let us take his name for lakhs and lakhs of lifetimes. We do not want to get moksha. But we are only interested in the madhurya, in the Vrindavan Leela of Krishna, only in the Shyama Sundar form of Krishna. So this is how our acharyas, they actually bring us from opulences to the sweetness. That the goal of this life is to first remember Krishna, and after remembering Krishna, forget Krishna's opulences. Srila Prabhupada, in his 10th canto, 9th chapter, third verse, where the beauty or the description of Mother Yashoda's form is given. Chaumam vasah prithukatitate bibhrati shutra nabdham. That how Mother Yashoda is serving Sri Krishna. She has a rope in her hand and she is churning butter for Sri Krishna. Her beautiful form, she has a beautiful garland. So in that purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions a very important point. I'm just going to read it for everyone. Srila Prabhupada says that anyone who desires to be Krishna conscious in motherly affection or parental affection should contemplate the bodily features of Mother Yashoda. Srila Prabhupada is mentioning. It is not that one should desire to become like Yashoda, either in parental affection or in conjugal love, friendship or servitorship. In any way, we must follow in the footsteps of inhabitants of Vrindavan, not try to become like them. One should take advantage of the full description provided here by thinking of Mother Yashoda in maternal affection for Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada in his purports, he encouraged devotees to think about Sri Krishna in Vrindavan. And therefore Srila Prabhupada in Nectar of Instruction, in one of the purports, he mentions one verse from Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Krishna smaram janam chasya preshtham nija samihitam tattat katha ratas chasau kuryad vasam vraje sada. That those devotees who are residing in Vrindavan, what is their duty? Their duty is to remember Krishna in Vrindavan, Krishna smaran and janam chasya. And we should also remember the jana, the associates of Krishna, like Yashoda, like Devaki, like Nanda Maharaj, like the gopis, like the gopas. And tattat katha ratasya. One should also keep hearing similar kinds of pastimes, staying in Vrindavan, kuryad vasam vraje sada. So Prabhupada therefore encouraged us how we have to go from the knowledge of the opulences of Krishna to the sweetness, experiencing the sweetness of Krishna. And sometimes some devotees, they question on our mission, or sometimes they question on Prabhupada, that Prabhupada being a Gaudiya Vaishnava, why did he establish, Gaudiya Vaishnavas are generally the worshippers of Radha and Krishna. So why did he establish Sitaram Lakshman in our temples? There are people who question us like this. And sometimes they also question that Prabhupada, why is he telling about all the rasas, Gaudiya Vaishnavas? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give Madhurya rasa. Samarpayitum unnata ujjvala rasam svabhakti sriyam. But no, that is not the case. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu obviously came to give the Madhurya rasa, unnata ujjvala rasa. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also came to give all the rasas which are there in Vrindavan. Therefore in Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela, 3rd chapter, 17th payar, Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami mentions that, just give me a two minutes, I'm going to conclude. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami mentions that what is the cause of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's avatar? Yuga dharma pravartimu nama sankirtan chari bhave diya na chaimu tribhuvan. That Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to propagate the Harinam Sankirtan and chari bhave diya. Chari bhava means dasya, sakhya, vatsalya and madhurya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can give any rasa. And in fact in Chaitanya Leela we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave Rama Bhakti to the Rama Bhaktas. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave Narsingha Bhakti to the Narsingha Bhakta, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave Madhurya Bhakti to the Madhurya Bhakta. So anyone who wants to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in any rasa, in any bhava, in any form, must take shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this Kali Yuga to achieve their highest perfection. Bhaj Gauranga, Kah Gauranga, Lah Gaurangera Naam Re. Bhaj Gauranga, Kah Gauranga. Jai jana Gaurangera bhaje se hamar pran re. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission, and Srila Prabhupada, therefore he was broad-minded because he knew that devotees in ISKCON will be coming from all around worlds, from all phases of life, and therefore this mission of Prabhupada and the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission is able to give, is potent enough to provide all kinds of perfection to a devotee. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If there are any questions or comments, please, I can take some questions. Worshipping, sorry?
What's the process of worshipping Lord Chaitanya?
Lord Chaitanya? Yes.
Worship Lord Chaitanya. What is the process?
The process is Harinam Sankirtan. That is how Srimad Bhagavatam mentions that, in fact, in one place, it is generally in the scriptures, if you see, to attain Radha Krishna Bhakti or to attain Vraja Prem, Raga Bhakti is needed. But I remember Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj would always say that even if we are not able to perform Raga Bhakti to the desired, quantity or quality, if we worship Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by worshipping Harinam Sankirtan, automatically that bhava can automatically develop in the heart. So the worship of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this age of Kali is Sri Harinam Sankirtan, by chanting his holy name and by coming together and discussing Krishna Katha, Srimad Bhagavatam, and chanting the glories of Krishna, his name, form, qualities, pastimes.
Why devotee must allow themselves spiritual conditioning, so they not allow themselves to be part, real part of their will. They don't know, they see their children, they don't know how to embrace them. Why they allow themselves to be spiritual conditioned?
I didn't get the question. Can?
There are material conditions.
Yes, yes.
But modes of nature, and they spiritually conditioned. So they condition in such a condition.
Yes, yes.
They don't know how to even embrace their children.
Embrace the
Children.
children.
Please tell me why we can be, how to say, free from that, spiritual condition. That we don't end up in such a position like the vacuum muscle.
I am not sure. I am not able to understand your question. Probably I can take it after the, after the class. If there is anyone else. Yeah, okay. So, Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta Kare Uday. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has said that we have to take shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam and Harinam first. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada, if you go to that purport, Prabhupada says advanced devotees must take advantage. Prabhupada specifically mentioned advanced devotees. Therefore, in the beginning stages, it is not possible for us to contemplate on the features of Mother Yashoda and the other associates. But that does not mean that makes us unqualified. We still have a hope. There is a hope that one day, by chanting the holy name, by taking shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam, even if one has to contemplate, one cannot make up his own contemplation. it has to be through Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, our process is that Shravanadi Shuddha Chitta. The first process is that we have to hear the pastimes of Krishna. We have to hear the descriptions more and more, so that our mind gets absorbed so much that one day we will be able to contemplate. That is the process. So we have to engage in Shravana and Kirtan first, and then automatically by the process of Shravana and Kirtanam, the Smarana Dasha rises. Srila Prabhupada mentions this in Nectar of Instruction. So the first process is Shravanam and Kirtanam. And for that we have to take shelter of Harinam and Srimad Bhagavatam. Yes, any other question? Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.